ever since I started my YouTube platform talking about bridging the gap between the African diaspora and the continent of Africa, this gentleman's name kept coming up, Wode Maya. And everyone said, I hope for the two of you to be able to connect because both of you share the same passion. He represents the continent of Africa. I'm representing the African diaspora from the United States. And we've been corresponding on Instagram and just trying to, figure out a time to connect. And it just so happened on this day, we were at the same place at the same time. And this is when it was meant to happen. And what I'm about to share with you is our very impromptu interview with Wode Maya.
What's happening, everybody? You're not going to believe who I ran into here in Takoradi.
Wode Maya.
Wode Maya.
Welcome to my region, man.
Yes, I see.
I'm from Takoradi, bro.
Yeah. You've been schooling me on everything.
Exactly. The best comes from the West,
The best comes from the West.
Yeah, that's why, Takoradi gave me out to the world.
Well,
Wode Maya to the world.
Well, you know what? But you know what? You have begun to transform so many people's perspective about Africa, about the different countries, and everyone is excited to see what you're doing. I mean, I can't wait for you to hit that 1 million.
I can't wait too. Yeah, we're almost there. It's more of something that I've always wanted to do, but I never had the resources.
Got it.
So I had to start from somewhere. I was in China. I started preaching about Africa way back in China. People were like, why are you talking about Africa in China? People were calling me coon, leave China. Yeah, I mean, those days. But I knew what I wanted. It was more like a process. And I didn't have to listen to what people are saying because I know what I want to achieve. So I kept on moving. When the time was up, I was like, it's time to go back to Africa. I came to Africa with 100,000 subscribers, just coming in here, just trying to educate people about Africa. But when I came here, I realized that Africans themselves don't know anything about Africa.
Isn't that interesting?
So I had to limit my message to Africa for Africans by talking about Africa to Africans so that Africans will embrace Africa. And trust me, I'll say that that's one of the best things I've ever done. Because personally, I've learned a lot from it.
But you're not just reaching people in Africa.
Yeah, we are all Africans.
Touche, my brother, touche.
That's what I'm saying, because you know what? I didn't know this. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
When I was in school, I had a classmate who's a black American.
Okay.
And the first time I met him, I'm like, yo, bro, which part of Africa are you from? Can you believe that this guy was extremely mad telling me that you can't call me an African, I'm not an African. Bro, it was my first time of meeting an African American. I didn't even know, there is something called African American.
You didn't even know that?
I didn't know. I'm not even lying to you. I didn't know. See, I didn't even know I was black, bro. Until I stepped in China and people started calling me black man. That's how I got to know I was black. See, a lot of Africans don't even know.
They don't even associate with black. I tell people.
They don't know. So when people keep on saying that, Africans hate us, I'm like, you don't know what you're saying, because go to the street and go and ask people who's an African American. 9% of the people out of 10 will not know who an African American is.
So they won't even know what the term is.
Exactly.
So that's like a term that's been put on us.
We don't know. I got to know when I went to China. That's when I even got to know that I was black. So I met this guy. He's like, oh, don't come. And that's when I started doing research. Now we are best buddies, man.
Isn't that something?
I had to talk to him. Hey, bro, I'm from Africa, man. I'm so sorry, but I didn't know who an African American is. I thought you are from another African country. You understand? So all these things were more of education for me. So when I came out from China, I knew that I got brothers and sisters in America, brothers and sisters in the Caribbean. So my message was for Americans and the Caribbean. That's why everybody was able to relate that we are just one people. Then that's when I started doing research about Marcus Garvey.
Okay.
When he said Africa is for Africans at home and Africans abroad. That's what I use the term, my message for Africans to Africans. So you might be born in America, you might call yourself Black American, African American. So far as you're black, trust me, you're an African.
Isn't that something? And a lot of people don't know that the color aspect, that many people in Africa don't even understand it. It's kind of like, well, they didn't come up with color.
When you start traveling within Africa, when you start seeing the buildings for slave trade, then you will know that every black man around the world is an African. because you will see what happened when you travel to these places. I was in Senegal. I went to
Gorée Island.
Gorée Island. Oh my God, that was my last video. I cried. I shed tears. That was the last video that I said I'm not gonna do any video about slave trade, because the story hits you so much to the extent that, oh, your people actually went through this. Let me tell you something. I was that guy who used to embrace every color, every race, but after hearing what happened on the continent and the history, educating myself about Africa and what Africans went through, I feel like I became racist.
Oh wow! Because it hit you to the point where you realized.
I was having some kind of hate in my heart to the extent I didn't want to see anybody that don't look like me. When I started doing this kind of videos, bro, because I didn't know.
So they didn't teach it in the schools.
No, but who learns that in school? You can ask Ghanaians who learns in school that, oh, our ancestors went through this and this and that. We didn't know, unless you go and discover. If I tell you that YouTube videos took me to Cape Coast Castle, you won't believe it.
So
for the first time,
really,
just going to do a YouTube video. Personally, I won't just sit down and say that, oh, I'm going to Cape Coast Castle to learn about slave trade.
Because you didn't even know it existed. And they don't even want to teach us in America, for real. They don't. They tell us our history started with slave trade.
Exactly.
But it went so much further beyond that.
So this is what I'm telling you. Like, a lot of Africans don't know this. And that is why I'm always telling African Americans or our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean that learn to teach one another, learn from one another, because it's more like education, miseducation among us.
Yes.
So me, I talk about Africa, but trust me, I didn't know anything about Africa until I started traveling. So every day I go to a place, oh wow, this is how it is, then I embrace it. Then I learn and I keep moving. So traveling in Africa has become my new university now.
Isn't that something?
Maybe after traveling in every African country, I need to get a degree about
you need to get a degree.
I need to get a degree in Africa, because see, it's a lot. Like, I went to Namibia. I'm coming from Namibia, and I got to know that Namibians were evicted from their homes.
Really? Okay.
I didn't know. It's more like, when it comes to the Western Africa, it's more like a slave trade. If you go to the Southern Africa, it's called apartheid.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm going to Congo, and I started doing research about Congo, and it's just terrible.
And Leopold and everything.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
If you hear such stories, you'll be like, I'm not gonna like anybody who doesn't look like black men. Like, I'm like, even after reading about that, I'm like, why are Congolese going to Belgium? Because if you know the history, you will be like, oh my goodness. So basically, this kind of videos actually opened my eyes and opened my mind to know who I am. Because those days I didn't know who I am. I was just moving around like any ordinary guy, just doing my thing, having fun. But now I know what I'm saying, and I know what people have to listen.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this: you have impacted the world. I just want you to know that, and you've touched generations in the U.S. People are watching you; they're paying attention to what you're doing. Everyone, when I first started my channel, everybody said, you need to catch up with Wode Maya. I said, well, we're trying to work it out. We're going to figure it out one day. And we were supposed to meet today.
Yeah.
We didn't even know we were going to meet each other.
I mean, it's finally happened, man.
It's finally happened. I'm going to tell you this.
Happened.
This is what I got for you.
Yeah.
When you come to the U.S., you come to the D.C. area, I'll take you around D.C. I will show you where you need to go. I'll take you to all the different spots. I'll show you all of it's called the DMV, called D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. So we're all right there together. It's like one city, and then it has a metropolitan area.
I'll definitely get your contact, because I'll be there in December.
Cool.
I'm actually going to the Caribbean.
All right.
Yeah, going to Jamaica, Trinidad, and from there straight to the US. So definitely we're gonna link up.
Yes, sir.
Please, I would love to learn, because I'm here to learn. I'm just going to the US to learn more about.
And you'll teach, because once you learn, you're a learner who teaches.
I learn, and it's my responsibility to share.
That's it.
Yeah.
So let everybody know where they can find you. Wode Maya.
Yo, please check my channel out. Wode Maya, YouTube, Instagram, Mr. Ghana Baby. Follow, subscribe, and be part of the awesome family as we take you through the whole of the African continent. And trust me, every single video, you will learn something new. Thank you so much for watching. And if you are watching this video because of Wode Maya, kindly subscribe to this channel. It's by force. You know how we do it.
That's it. Appreciate it, bro.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. All right. Enjoy your stay.
Open up your eyes and see all the fun and mystery. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny. From the mountains to the shore, so many things to explore.
Adventures of Darren and Destiny. And Darren and Destiny are twin brother and sister, and you go on their adventures throughout the African diaspora, meaning so African diaspora destinations, primarily focused in Africa, but we go to South America, we're going to go to the Caribbean. Their first book is going to take you to Ghana, and then we're going to go on a safari. And from there, we're going to go to Ethiopia, and then we go to Salvador, Brazil. And what the goal is to be able to inspire curiosity in the continent of Africa, in our children from a very young age, and to really tell a more accurate story. Most of our children are exposed to negative images, late night infomercials about how bad things are, everybody's sick, everybody's poor, everyone's uneducated, but that's simply not true. So what Darren and Destiny and their family do is they go to different African destinations. They are learning about these different places. You're beginning to see positive images, but still telling the truth. I mean, that's the important thing, to tell the truth about some of the things that have occurred. But it's all done on our children's level so they begin to understand it. And it begins to pique their curiosity. They begin to learn more. And hopefully one day they will want to explore and visit the continent of Africa and its many countries. There's just so much that Darren and Destiny are able to do, and as they're doing it, it's like they begin to open the minds of a new generation, and they don't get bombarded and indoctrinated with negativity. They're actually able to see positivity and inspiring images and messages about the African diaspora, as well as those who are still indigenous to the continent of Africa, and they begin to learn more and just see things differently. So I'm excited about introducing the Adventures of Darren and Destiny.